So this is me.
Home is where the mud is for Nicole Simper, a former drug addict trying to turn her life around, living in a tent on Airport Way and Royal Brougham, just south of downtown.
There's pools of water.
Nicole was forced out of the infamous jungle during last month's cleanup under I-5 and came to this unauthorized camp on city property because shelters are not open when she finishes her part-time job as a stadium attendant.
There's a lot of shelters that won't let you in past a certain time. And that's what I really think is a really big problem, is not being able to get in after a certain hour.
That's one of thousands of reasons why people are sleeping outside in Seattle. And the city's new director of homelessness admits our current efforts aren't working as well as they should.
The system we have now is a shelter system. And what we need is a system that helps people move through the shelter system as fast as possible.
George Scarola has been on the job since August.
We all agree that it's urgent.
He's touting Mayor Ed Murray's plan, called Pathways Home, as a way to transform our approach to homelessness by dealing with each homeless person's individual needs.
First, they have to trust the people they're talking to, and they have to see something different than what we have currently offered.
Pathways Home aims to change our current funding model, where 70% of the $50 million a year the city spends on the homeless goes into emergency shelter services.
Far from ideal.
The new program would streamline the 180 city contracts going to 60 homeless service providers into a system that would connect people looking for homes with housing providers, not shelters. It won't get everyone off the street, but Scarola says it's a good start.
If we get well above 50%, 60%, we're going to be very happy that we've helped that many people move into something.
But what about the remaining percentage, who, due to drugs or other problems, are not a good fit for shelter or housing and are living on the street?
Those individuals have a human right, have a constitutional right to sleep somewhere.
City Council member Mike O'Brien has proposed setting aside areas in Seattle that would be suitable for homeless camps, such as undeveloped park spaces or greenbelts. The idea has had some support, but has received plenty of criticism from the public.
I want them to get housing and I want them to get job training, not get our parks.
Camping is not a right.
I think we can do better. We have to do better.
We need to ensure that people living on our streets have a meaningful place to go and when they're displaced from an unauthorized encampment.
Mayor Murray says he'd like the message to be simple. Camping in parks, on sidewalks, or on school property is not allowed.
Thank you very much.
But until more housing capacity exists to get people out of a situation like this on Airport Way, some camps on city property will remain.
If we cannot offer them a place to stay and or the service they need, we will not move them.
The mayor is also calling for 4 new city-authorized campsites and a 24-hour shelter like San Francisco's Navigation Center to deal with a nationwide 3-pronged problem: the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis, a heroin epidemic, and issues of housing affordability.
You put those 3 forces together and you're going to have increasing numbers of homeless.
Still, finding consensus around solutions from those with homes or without is difficult.
The shelters are just a whole new set of problems.
Some of these parking structures that aren't being used, some of these parking lots that aren't being used, open up as encampments.
Yet as cold winds blow towards winter, there's complete agreement that it's time for Seattle to make sure its revamped response to homelessness doesn't get stuck in the mud.
What our view of success is people getting to stable housing, not staying in a shelter, not just being warm and dry, but having a real shot at stable housing over time.
Nicole Simper says she'll believe it when she sees it.
You want us to hold up our end and get out of here. They need to hold up there.